Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Jason Sulli.
I'm Kimberly Ann Southwick.
And I am Zachary Patton Garcia.
And I'm Ian Carlos Crawford. Hello, we're here to talk today about the Angel Season 1 episode, Bachelor Party, and I wanted to have the three of you for this because Jason and Kim, I've been to both of your Bachelor/Bachelorette parties, and I figured to make it a little like all three of my IRL friends for this.
Aw.
We're just recently IRL friends now, though.
Aww.
Does this count?
Yeah, it counts because you're weirdly the only other. Well, no, that's not true. Okay, I've met Gabe and Ryan, but I've never met like Dana in person, and she's co-hosted Slayerfest for a long
really?
time.
I figured you would have already by now.
Yeah, Dana's like, I think Dana's one of the ones that's co-hosted the longest that I've never met. Yeah.
Shit, did I say 98?
I think I thought
Because
you
I was
did.
going
97.
between 97 and 98. Oh, shit, I did say
No,
97?
I don't know if you said 97. I was just joking around.
Same
But
thing.
I think I feel like we're too far
I'm
gone.
sorry. This is bad. I'm sorry.
I now I'm like, no, I think you said 98. Did you?
Well,
I don't know.
Find out.
Ashley, keep that in. So Jason, what did you think overall of this episode? Just like a quick little.
Oh my god. I mean, I am a sucker for like, TV sappy like love stories, and by this time it's just like, yeah, Doyle and Cordelia would be cool. But that's all it was. Like, and this episode could have been 2 minutes long.
Oh yes, yeah.
Like this is. I feel like this to me is like where they just did not have traction yet in the season. Like this is why season 1 is rough, and this is a good episode to go with on why.
Zach?
I don't think it's a bad episode though. I do think it's like a 2-minute episode when I think on it. Like it's very quick flash in my mind, and there's like clearly a couple things they're just really trying to set up with this episode, right? They're trying to set up the Doyle Cordelia thing. They're trying to progress that a little bit, and then they're going to do the Buffy flash at the end, right, to set up the next one. But other than that, I mean, it was cute. It was cute. I give it like my husband asked me what I would rate it because he just watched it with me, and I said maybe like a 3 out of 5.
All right, that's fair. Kim?
I don't know. I feel like I liked it a little more than y'all, but I also feel very critical of certain aspects of the episode. Like, we'll talk about the misogyny. And it did feel like as soon as Doyle signed the papers, the episode could be over. So, like, you knew there was some sort of catch. I felt like it was lacking, like, an interesting B plot. Something to, like, keep it afloat.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like, I don't know, Kim, I feel like that's kind of been an issue with a lot of these episodes that like they maybe need like a B or a C plot or like the reason I think this is a fun episode. I think season 1 is rough in general. And some of these episodes, like I Fall to Pieces, which Kim and Zach, you were both on for, is like, I don't know. There's a lot of like, they don't really know what they're doing with the show. They give it like this month. I like that this at least had something to do with the characters, like this like quote unquote monster of the week. And I'm like, I love I'm a sucker for like, exes who are friends or maybe have a complicated relationship. So I liked Doyle having this wife/ex-wife that like he's still cared for, but they don't really talk. And I would have liked that her to be a character that maybe pops up.
Yeah, there was some really good character development overall in this episode.
Yeah.
And I mean, Cordy just keeps getting better and better. Like,
Right.
we run some stuff about Doyle. Angel's still handsome and brooding. So, I feel like there's some good stuff going on here. But like, they haven't figured out yet how to keep our interest throughout the episode. You can't just give us Monster of the Week. You can't just give us character development. You can't just give us Kate. Nobody cares about Kate except me.
I do agree that it needed a B plot, right? It just now that you say that, I think that's why it feels like a 2-minute episode, is that there's not all the characters are kind of intertwined in this one plot, and it's like, does it work for an hour? I don't know,
Well, and so, so to get into the episode, it is weird. The pacing is a little weird, right? Because we get the whole, like, before the credits is like Cordelia's talking about a date she's going on, and then the date, like, gets there, and Angel's kind of like a weird dad about talking to the guy. And like, right? And like, and then we get the Buffy's which is clearly a headshot from like season 2.
Buffy's press photo falls out of Angel's book.
Like, it very much looks like a headshot.
Went glamour shots at them all.
Yeah,
He cut that from an Entertainment Weekly magazine.
And like all of that is like kind of weird, right? We don't really need that, or that could have been a B plot. Cordelia's going on dates, right? I would have taken that as a B plot. Like she's going on dates with guys that she finds boring, and that leads her to be like, maybe I do like Doyle.
Yeah, like it's like a setup. Like we're supposed to care about Doyle caring about his masculinity or something. You know,
right?
And obviously, like the will they or won't they with Cordy and Doyle, we're also supposed to care about that because of it. But yeah, it seemed like just a setup for that.
Yeah.
Doesn't the whole episode feel like one of those? I don't know. If you want to impress a girl that you like, and so you hire people to say really nice things about you, you know. That's what the whole episode feels like.
Yeah, things you and I have done, Zach, right, to impress a girl.
Yes, yeah. All the girls were impressed.
Also, like Doyle's reaction to seeing Buffy's photo, and he's like, "Oh, is she your old squeeze? How's she feel about Irish men?" And it's like,
I know. I can't.
It was very weird. But then he gets a vision of a vampire's nest, delivers the line of like, "Oh, everyone's got a dinner date but them." Post credits, we see Cordy is very bored. Kim, I feel like this is like a date I could see you having gone on in New York with like some guy who's like, "Ooh, she's pretty and smart," and then like you have nothing in common, and he's just like this dumb like rich bro.
Oh, I wish. Take me out and treat me, daddy. No, but yes, I mean, I can imagine. I have a rich friend who's taken me to dinner sometimes, but those weren't dates. And he talks about the stock market, and I'm like, mm-hmm. So I mean, I've been there, just not on a date. I had to pay for myself, even though he's rich.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes he pays for me. Anyway,
Nothing wrong with it. Is Cordelia Chase going on a date with Elon Musk?
right?
Would she do that?
This guy's like really excited about the stock market in a way that I feel like people today are excited about like NFTs and like Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that.
Oh yeah.
People today can probably relate with that.
We need a whole ass like new scene of Cordelia Chase trying to either explain NFTs and like Bitcoin or being explained NFTs and Bitcoin. I feel like her responses to this generation would be gold, comedy gold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now I want that scene of a guy talking about Bitcoins to Cordelia and her just being like, "Oh, fuck, damn it."
She just pulls out a 20. She's like, "This is all the currency I know."
Yeah. So she's bored on this date. And then we cut to Angel and Doyle in the Vamp's nest, which, Jason, as someone who went to stunt school, I like the way the brawls are choreographed in this episode.
It's not bad. I feel like there's too much waiting time. But yeah, sure.
Because it's shot with like, I forget what the hell you call that, Zach. Yeah, it's like, it's always shot with just like a straight frame and they're coming in and out of the frame. Is there a name for that, Zach?
Just, I honestly wasn't paying attention to how it was shot, so I don't remember. I know exactly the scene. I just watched it, but I don't remember how it was shot.
That's fair.
I like how they were like dirty punk rock vampires, like not like pop punk clean boys like Doyle, but like dirty yucky punks from the, I guess, late 90s.
Yeah.
I also love that it was a nest of vampires. That felt very classic for this sort of world, you know? I like something like throwback. That. Yeah.
And I don't feel like we get a lot of that with Angel either. Like in general, we don't get a lot of him, you know, like that's something Buffy would do, but like that's easy for her, but we don't get a lot of like Angel doing that.
Yeah.
So they like, whatever, we get the kind of, so the things we're setting up in this beginning are like, oh, Doyle saw a picture of Buffy, so he will recognize her for his flash later. And then we get Angel telling him like, why don't you demon out? Which I still don't quite understand, like, what the difference is. Is that, like, they get stronger when they put on their demon faces?
Yeah, I think Angel specifically says, like, it makes you stronger when he accuses him of not doing it.
And Doyle says that, like, he just doesn't like it. It's not his style, whatever. We see that the one vampire survived. So Cordy's coming home from her. God, all this, now that I'm explaining it, I don't dislike this episode, but it is, like, a very clunky... Right?
Yeah. Look, here's what I think about this whole start of the episode. It's like it's almost like the first time setting up like an episode or something. Like you could have talked this through instead of just like doing a whole, because it seemed like they made it seem like that this episode wasn't what it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, we wasted like a quarter of time for a terrible setup.
So I'm not okay. I'll disagree a little bit. I don't know if I super hate this setup because I think we're getting little points here and there, right? I think this episode more drags for me when Harriet comes in. I like cannot stand when she's on the damn screen. Like every time she starts talking to somebody or trying to make friends with Cordelia, like it's I'm sitting there, I'm waiting. I like go from my notes app to Twitter just for a second, you know. But this stuff I'm okay with. Like, so Cordelia comes home from the date, right? And she is in this convertible with the guy, and the vampire comes up, and her date gets freaked out and like speeds off without her. And this front stoop fight between Doyle and the vampire is pretty damn good. It looks more expensive than a fight Buffy has ever had. The vampire even like flies a little bit at one point.
Yeah,
I like his shoes.
and I like that.
Like
Did you
those,
say
like,
you like his shoes?
Yeah, he's got those like fire shoes. I used to have those shoes. I'm like the dealie.
I wish I would have noticed that detail.
Kim, wait, yes, you're right, because I did notice that, and when we saw the shoes, I was like, wait, are those Doyle's or his shoes? Because
they're very
I love
ska
those shoes.
shoes, and Doyle's very ska. Like sometimes, like you know, he's gonna break out in like.
He does have that vibe.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yep, that's what it is.
Kim and Jason are the sole reasons I've ever been to ska shows.
Anyway, I had those shoes. He had like the the boot type of them. I had them in orange, like the vampire did. I also had them in black glitter. And if anyone knows how to get those like Delia's fire shoes today, let me know.
eBay.
Now I know what I can get you for Christmas, Kim.
Woo woo!
I feel like you and Summer Bishel have both talked about how the fashion is so dated in this, but like it's coming back kind of, and you're both ready for that.
I was never ready for the fire shoes to go away. They just like the top flappy part flapped off from the bottom part. So I can't go to shows anymore.
You're not cool anymore. Yeah, so, and also like the fight, it feels like Doyle, I mean, we get like later him like rehashing what he said, but it is when he's like, you came for me, and he's got like the arrow, and I was a little like, all right, but like we know Cordelia can also stake a vampire. Like it was annoying.
That was annoying, right?
Right.
Okay, don't tell me that Cordelia's just being flung to the ground like she's in that season 3 episode where she's wearing the blue dress. No. She's a vampire slayer at this point.
Right.
She knows what she has to do.
Yeah, like
I feel like this vampire is like bigger than other vampires though. So like I could and she's sort of maybe thinking that she's going to get some help and then doesn't get some help. So there's like I could see her being in the situation she winds up in.
I just don't see her not doing any sort of Cordelia thing, like stepping on a foot or maybe like elbowing in a rib or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she does bite him.
Yeah.
You know what? She does a
She does
Cordelia
bite
thing.
him.
I take it back.
Well, I more meant like when the vamp is on top of Doyle and she's just kind of looking, and I'm like, all right, you pick up the arrow and stake him. You know how to stake a vampire.
You got this.
But, he's a demon. He can handle himself. He's fine. Doyle's okay. She knows that.
She doesn't know he's a demon, remember?
He doesn't know.
Does she not know yet?
No.
I'll come a couple episodes behind.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. I don't think she learns until his last episode. That's when she learns he's a demon.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
So see, here's the thing about this. Like, I liked how it started off with all the action and stuff, and I was just like with the bigger vampire, I was like, oh, you could draw this out to an episode. Like maybe this bigger vampire has a bunch of nests, and like this is
There should be plot.
Yeah.
But no, it was just like that's it. There we are.
That's another thing with the weird pacing, because it's kind of like, ooh, we're setting this vampire up and then he's dead in the next scene, and it's like, all right, why'd we bother? Like,
yeah, why did we do that?
But I agree that could have been a cool B plot. Maybe that's Cordelia's plot is this vampire, gets her and Harry have to fight the vampire. I don't know. But then we cut to I guess the next day, and Cordelia is kind of ranting to Angel, and I really felt like this, I was like, oh God, the three of them. This is like me talking to any of the three of you about a guy that I have a crush on.
Does the episode pass the Bechdel test? F on the Bechdel test.
But right, because she's just she's basically just saying her stream of consciousness, thoughts. Angel's not really saying anything. And she's like, you're right, this is what we should do. And he like didn't say anything.
Angel is so checked out this episode. He is not. He was wanting a personal day, okay?
He really was.
He really was like, yeah, you do you. I don't care.
I like how Cordy calls Doyle some badly dressed superhero. Speaking of swap clothes.
I love that she mentioned Xander, and it was like, after Xander, I promised myself no more fixer-uppers.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
Quick, Kim, do you think Doyle's better than Xander or no?
Yes. Hard.
Because I do too, right? Yeah. Like,
he didn't have time to
the
get
bar's
bed.
pretty low.
Yeah.
Like, Doyle's like messy, but in like a not like a shitty guy way, just in like a more emotional way.
I mean, there's some, and we'll talk about it, there's some misogyny in this episode. That's twice now I've mentioned it without being specific, coming from Doyle's part. But I feel like that's, like, Xander's misogyny is, like, partially Xander's fault, and Doyle's misogyny is, like, the patriarchy's fault, and, like, a little bit less Doyle's fault, ? That's how I feel.
That's fair. That's fair.
Ooh, I can't wait for the part. I'm excited.
I know.
I'm like, get to it. Let's hear it.
Cordelia says she like needs to take Doyle out for a mochaccino, which I thought was like such a like just hearing that is so dated, right? Like
it really is. Like I don't think that's a thing, right?
Right?
Or at least it's not called that anymore.
I was wondering that. I was like, God, what do they call that in the cafe? Like, what's a mochaccino now?
Frappuccino? Those still.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
I
don't know. But so in walks Harry. Zach, you didn't like her. I liked her.
I loved her.
I don't like Harriet. I did like her hair very much. I love a curly mane, but she was just. I don't like that she came into his space and started getting confrontational with him. I hate when we have like a couple or an estranged like spouse or girlfriend or whatever come in and or a boyfriend and they all automatically start getting confrontational, because they hadn't talked to each other for a long time, right? Yeah. And so
Zach, that's funny. That reminds me of, that was like the same thing you said about Robin Wood when he's in, like the first time he's going through Buffy's house.
I just think I'm very like, I've had experiences where people have come into my space acting like they can, do whatever. And I don't like that. So Harriet gets a B- for me there, but he learned that Harriet is his estranged wife that he's still married to while he was speaking to Cordelia about, Cordelia's coming around to him, maybe not being too fair to him, is what she said.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one of those scenes that I'm just like, obviously we know you need to mess with the timing, but I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this whole thing could have been an email. Or at the time, just send him the divorce papers. Why? We'll just send him the divorce papers.
We're supposed Jason, we are supposed to be like, Doyle has a wife? Oh, this breaks my heart. How could he have a wife when he is supposed to be in love with Cordelia? What is happening?
Also, the theme that has been set up so far is like bland dudes who are rich, and that's just a really boring theme. Like Pierce, bland dude who is rich. Richard, bland dude who is rich. I'm like, can we come up with a better theme here?
Can we talk about Richard for a second? Enter Richard. Okay. I felt like Annie Wilkes in Misery. I stood up. I said, have you all got amnesia? Like he already played Cock-a-Doodle Ken. This is Ken in LA, and his name is Richard. Are you fucking kidding me?
I kept writing his name down as Ken and being like, "Oh, that's not."
I did not write Richard a single time. This is Ken. You're not going to tell me. You're not going to bring him in the same exact way. You're not going to have him in LA. He's very memorable. His face struck me instantly. You can't pass him off as the vampire from season 1 and then the judge. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I that's funny. I was going to ask you guys because I know me and you both, Zach, are crazy Buffy people, but Kim and Jason, did you recognize this man?
He was in Buffy. Right? I thought that. I was just like, I know this face. I thought that. I was like, he was in something else. I'm glad you said that because I was like, what was he?
Kim, did you recognize him?
Nope.
Okay, so he plays Ken. Do they have a name for I forget what they are, right, Zach?
The Mormon Hellscape pastor. I don't know. The demon.
He's the youth pastor kind of demon-y guy who takes the kids in the season 3 premiere, Anne, of Buffy. he's like brings them to that underground whatever, and then they age up and die.
Okay.
And Buffy has to go and like kills them all.
In season 3?
Yeah, season
3 episode 1. That is a significant episode in Buffy history, and so
I remember that episode because I was like, how's she gonna get out of this?
So then he became like a significant guy just from one episode that I would, at least for me, I would remember him. So y'all can't just bring him in again in the same freaking city and act like he's somebody. Richard,
right?
Acting exactly like Ken, by the way.
Yes.
This isn't the exact same character.
Like, at least put a mustache on him.
Just a mustache should have been fine, Jason. Exactly. But he's the exact. He even has a family dinner scene at one point, which is my favorite, by the way. But this is the exact same freaking character.
Right. So, Zach, I was thinking that. I was like, they really could have just named him Ken and been like, yeah, sure. And like when he turns into Demon Face, it's the Demon Face from...
I feel like maybe they thought that was too ridiculous, but I don't think it would have been. It would have been the perfect amount of just like, he would have been a fun one to pop up a couple times throughout both series, however he needed to, because I just think I like the actor and I think he did good as Ken. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has, fun fact, he has an arc on Seinfeld as a pool guy that Jerry gets fired by accident. Cause that's his acting style, is like the upbeat, like peppy guy. And he's like, upbeat and peppy, but also like crazy on Seinfeld.
The upbeat peppy guy with the pool.
He's totally dressed like he could be on Seinfeld and be like a comedic character. I mean, they're all comedic, like a someone that they're making like for sure, or like someone Eileen like dates. What's her name? Is her name Eileen?
Elaine, Kim.
I love Seinfeld. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I once sent Zach a clip of it and was like, this is us talking about ideas, and it's Elaine and George.
I don't know
what
the hell you're talking about, Ian.
What is this? I was like, oh, God.
This is Leave It to Beaver? What am I watching here? This guy, though, Ken, he's got a mark on his cheek, so he's recognizable. Yes. He's already got like a little instant, you'll never forget him after this episode, Ken. And you'll never forget Ken. We're not going to call him Richard.
And like Tom Lang told me that the rule was you could play a character again if you wore makeup if you wore like demon makeup the first time, or if you were human and then you wore demon makeup the second time. But like they played fast and loose with that rule because like this guy and like the woman who played Helfrich, I guess we never see her out of her we do see her out of her demon makeup. So that's kind of why they just made it the same character. But like, but whatever. So we meet this guy. He's like all super nice. The thing I do love is when he's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that we were getting married. And Cordelia sits down and she's like, no, go on. Because she's like loving the gossip. And Angel's like, all right, we should go. We find out Doyle needs to sign the divorce papers, blah, blah, blah. We cut to Doyle. And this is like, I'm talking with you guys. I'm like, this pacing's weird. Because then we cut to Angel and Doyle in like his basement apartment drinking. And like, I forget how they even I just say like Doyle asks Angel to follow the guy and Angel agrees, but says not to tell Cordelia because she'll want to charge.
Oh, I remember how they get there.
Yes. Okay, Kim.
She's got the script.
Patriarchal misogyny.
Oh.
Doyle's like, oh, it's my duty to watch over her. I'm the man.
Oh,
that sort of bullshit.
Right.
And like, I mean, So yeah, Angel follows him because of that.
Do we know that they own the restaurant at this point, the demons? I don't know that we do.
No,
we don't.
We do
I don't think. Right. So Angel's kind of following him, and then we get the scene of him turning into his demon face, Ken, and it's like very red and devilly looking, and he picks up a knife. Angel jumps through the window, and then we learn what, Zachary?
I don't know. What were we talking about just now? So I understand what scene we're at, but like...
An angel slugs him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so Harry is an ethnodemonologist and knows that Richard /
That's what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So we learn that she knows that he's a demon. We learn that she... But it's like Doyle kind of like did tell the story correctly, but like left out some parts, right? Because she says like she did freak when she found out Doyle was part demon, but then she changed her mind and started studying them, and Doyle couldn't accept himself, which, that's kind of like, that's been like a little undercurrent of a line throughout the season so far, right? Doyle never, he like rarely ever turns into his demon face. And we got the reminder at the top of the episode that even when he's in a fight, he doesn't like to. So I feel like that tracks. And I kind of almost, thinking about like what we were talking about with the vampire could have been a B plot. I almost would have liked if this demon clan was peaceful and the B plot like was the vampire, and then the vampire attacks the bachelor party, and then everyone's
like
happy.
add a little more. Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like right at the scene that we're talking about after Harry's talking about being an ethnodemonologist, and Doyle's got like, I mean, a pretty character building line where he says like that she didn't leave because of the demon in me, she left because of me. Like he realizes that he's the one that couldn't accept himself. She wasn't just like, you know, kind of playing along trying to get him to feel better about himself. This is where he's like, I'm going to sign the papers now. And it's like, oh, okay, end of episode. You know?
Yeah.
Done. You did it.
Pyramid is like thrown out the window. All of our conflict and resolution has been resolved. Like we are starting over with like a completely new conflict here when we get to the catch, you know, with the bachelor party, the name of the episode.
So I have to add something for the scene before we pass it. Like when we find out that she studies demons and stuff, I knew like going into Angel that Angel was gonna have a squad, and I was like in the beginning in this first season, I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for people to assemble a squad. I honestly thought they were going to keep her when I first watched this, you know, as kind of like a Watcher-esque person.
Zach would have been so mad.
They could have built her up for me though. That's okay. But doesn't it seem like that's what they're going to do this season is like bring people in that they keep, you know, getting rid of.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I was waiting for. Cause I knew the one thing I knew going into Angel is that he's going to have like a squad, you know? So I kept like thinking, oh, is this person going to be? Is this person? Should I start liking this person? But he seemed so interested that she studied demons that I was just like, oh, sweet. So she's going to be like our watcher, like researcher person. But
yeah. Kim?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I knew it wasn't the case because I'd seen Angel before, but I was like, oh, like why didn't they keep her around?
Yeah, right. And like it feels like this is always my problem with one-off, where everything's a one-off, is that like I'm always like, well, what character should I care about? Like Kate, we have to see a bunch of times, but like this lady we don't, and like even the woman in the first episode, right? Like Jason and Zach, we talked about, she was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to give somebody for Cordy to compete with, right? It's kind of that whole thing is that you don't want your, or that's how I'm assuming they're setting this show up, is they want Cordelia to be the one girl, right?
Right.
And surrounded by a bunch of guys. And so even Kate is not coming into Cordelia's space, even though I think Cordelia needs some more women to work off of. God, all these dudes are so boring. Like she needed, I would have been fine with Harriet just for Cordelia to have somebody else to talk to.
I mean, right, Cordelia, like it's so funny because there's like a friend that she mentions a bunch that we only meet, I think, twice ever. And one of them
we've ever met Janice.
Wait, who the hell's Janice?
And Dawn's friend. Okay,
the
one that we meet. Yeah, Cordelia needs friends, man.
Yeah. So he found out that she studies demons. We blah blah blah. She tells Angel the real story.
Well, the episode has been restarted, and Doyle and Cordy are about to be invited to some bachelor parties.
Right.
Yes. How many scenes do they use Angel as a prop for just like for every character to talk to for a moment?
Yeah, and he doesn't give anything back.
Nothing.
Just handsomeness.
Well,
it's enough sometimes.
There's a lot of Angel being a background actor.
Yeah, I wouldn't know if he was just moody filming this episode, or if that was just the way he was written today.
That day he was like, no, I'm not doing a lot of scenes today.
He's like, cut my fucking lines, man.
I'm hungover. So yeah, they get invited, and you're right, it really is that, like, this is the reset of the episode, and then now this is the plot of the episode. Because then right after he signs the papers, Cordelia's invited to Harry's bachelorette party. He's invited to the bachelor party. We cut to the scene that, Zach, you said you really liked, which is
this the family dinner? Okay. This is my favorite scene of the freaking, this wacky ass family friendly KFC commercial that we get is wonderful. And it fully highlights why I love Ken. You know, he is just the weirdest damn, like, you know, most wholesome demon who'll eat your brains, but
Yeah.
I love the family stuff. I just need Ken to pop up a little bit more. This is
Yeah.
going to be the last time we ever see this actor in this series, this world, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the fact that, and this is like a thing that like the show does well, right? Because it's like, this is like a boring sitcom family. Like they're like very, look like they could be from any sitcom, and they're just like, the mom is a little sassy where she's like, I know you're going to have that striptease going on. Like, I know what you guys do.
It's a very normal conversation
Right.
amongst demons.
Right. And then like they're like, what are they? They're arguing about that. Then the dad is reading the itinerary and he's like, blah, blah, blah. We'll eat the first husband's brains, then Pictionary. And the one brother's like, Pictionary, damn.
But I like that the pause, like I
Isn't
was
that
like, all right, that was
so
funny.
good? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just
I was
so
like,
good.
okay, I'll give you that one. That was good.
It's
You guys
just
get one.
cheesy, you know. It's
Yeah.
it's cringe cheese, and I think it works so well in moments, especially in this show, right? Which is
Yes.
supposed to be a lot more brooding. When we have a light moment like that is kind of like Leave It to Beaver cheese. It works, especially with like a demon subtext.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it sets the stage for like the whole bachelor party. So we get like we get the tone here where it's these demons that are trying and have been trying really hard to like pass in human society, but also like are still demons. And it's very like Third Rock from the Sun. I don't know, where like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like kind of got that like jokey humor, but also like they're gonna try to eat Doyle's brains. So yeah.
Kim, that's really an accurate comparison. I hadn't
that
thought
was-
about that show in a while, but yes. Yeah, and like for me, it's so weird because right, the episode at this point I think probably has like 20 minutes left, and like that sets the tone for the rest of the episode. And I do like that tone of like, we're just a regular boring sitcom family, but also we're demons, and also we're gonna eat that guy's brains.
Yeah.
And then the jingle starts,
Everything's normal, but we're gonna eat your brains.
Yeah. And so we get like, we cut to the parties and
Wait, we don't just cut to the party.
okay.
Doyle walks in, and there's a background actor behind him who
Okay.
is very handsome, and I think it's his show, but that's all he's doing.
Angle.
Like the whole scene, he's just standing behind Doyle again.
They also walk in like a gay couple, right? Like,
Oh, they
Yeah.
absolutely do. I'm like, yeah,
they're
okay.
like kind of dressed alike, like, and I mean that's definitely on purpose because they're like broody LA guys, and then these are like sitcom-y family, whatever. So they're like, got their like khakis and stuff, and Doyle and Angel arrive in their black leather jackets, not looking conspicuous at all. And the family's a little annoyed, right, that he brought a guest, which we will learn why. But they welcome in, and we see Cordy and Harry like at the bachelorette party. The bachelorette party is also very boring. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh my
someone's
God.
living room.
They didn't get anything. They had 2 walls and a buffet table for this scene, and that's all they could use
They spend all the money on the fight scenes in the beginning.
on the stoop fight scene.
Yeah, stupid.
They didn't even have any penis straws.
Yeah, they didn't even have anything like
Yeah, what the
silly.
If we could have seen Angel sipping out of a penis straw out of 10 out of 10 episode, it'd been great.
But it'd be in the background on this episode.
I know, right? just a little out of focus.
Him looking a little
Yeah, just-
sad, sipping on a penis straw.
If they're trying to pass as like white women at a bachelorette party, like they need penis straws.
Right?
No, this was a wholesome one. Okay, this was just cutting a nice, pretty little cake.
No,
with,
that's-
No,
I
because
don't
they
know.
even said that, like,
Wait.
let's watch the let's do pornographic
They
fiction
do
or
say
whatever
that,
they
don't
said.
they? That's
Yeah.
so fucking funny. Why didn't we see that?
Right.
We need to see Doris drawing the dick and balls.
Doris. I do. I mean, yeah. So I do like later when Harry's like, so at that bachelor party, and Doris is like, they're certainly not going to eat his brains. That's
feel
me
like that
trying
was-
to lie.
I don't even think she was trying to lie. I think she knew what she was doing. She thought it was wrong what they were doing, and she was acting stupid.
She
Ooh.
came to that bachelor party to cause drama.
She
and
said,
did.
I'm going to save Doyle.
Right.
And then because they've already at that point like done research, right? And they're like reading, eating a some type of
Yeah.
something of the ex-husband of a something.
Right. Because, well, so what happens to lead them to doing the research, Kim?
Well, Angel follows a lead. He does some acting and goes up the stairs following two of Richard/Ken's family dudes. And they are performing some sort of ritual with like fire and blood, which cannot be good. So he decides that he is going to call the ethnodemonologist that he just met and get some information on whether or not she knows what they're saying in their language. And this happens to be Harry, whose bachelorette party Cordy is at, where she's learning stuff about Doyle.
Right. And I do like that the like backstory she gives Doyle feels like the whole I know she's only joking about the We Are the World part, but it feels like the whole thing is a joke because she's like, oh, he volunteered at a soup kitchen. Oh, he was a teacher. And it's like, who? Like, who is
This
this?
is what I'm
talking
telling
about?
you, is that it sounds like he hired somebody to talk nice about him for an hour. You know?
But after Angel sees that guy, he bumps into one of the, I think it's a brother, right? I think they're brothers
I couldn't
or
see
whatever.
who was actually.
Yeah, they kept like changing what they were. I think I'm almost positive they've all changed
They
roles.
just
at
all
some
looked
point.
the same. They were like all the same. Like, you know, like
They
trying
did.
to pass as
It's their religion.
God, Kim. So he bumps into one of them. They immediately like kick the shit out of him and throw him out a window.
This was so stupid. They were like throwing him into like the cheapest wall they could. Angel's acting like he can't get up. They throw him out of a window. I guess they're demons, right? So they could be a little stronger, but
Right, yeah.
still, come on, Angel, get up.
And he lands right in on the fucking dumpster.
And I'm almost positive when he landed on the dumpster, though, he was like, "I just wanted a personal day today."
I know, just stay there. Just lay. Just
He's
don't
like,
get back
"Fine."
up. Don't do it.
And nobody hears this because they're all distracted by the incredibly corny stripper that is doing
Yeah.
things all over.
I don't know what dance she's doing. It was awkward.
And she did not. I was like, did the WB have like a rule that like you should show sex, you can show, but if it's a stripper, she's gotta like be very, very, very tame. Like it.
And
There's a lot of shoulder touching.
She made like sexy noises. Like she made like sex noises.
Kim. Yeah, and so after the stripper does her dance, then like we see Richard and Doyle having a drink. Doyle gives him his blessing. Richard's like, hey, everybody, he gave me his blessing. And they put him in this box that looks like a magician's box.
Like Alice in Wonderland, which I've watched a lot.
Right? Then we see like the family. This is the shit I like. And I know you said you kind of like this too, Zach. Like when the one family member brings like a fork and the dad is like, what is this? This is a shrimp fork. You can't eat grains with a shrimp fork.
Yeah. It was a weird, like, 1 minute just back and forth about a shrimp fork versus a spoon. You know, it was like a
I think it was one of those things they kind of wanted to do like the family, like, you know, like they wanted to recreate the family scene again. You know, be like, yo, we're still trying to be normal, but not too normal.
Yeah, he even has like a lobster bib, right, for like eating seafood.
They're like apologizing to Doyle about like not being up on human etiquette.
Right.
I don't think they were that bad. I think they were fine. He gave his consent. They were ready to eat the brains. They were going to do it politely. He wasn't going to let everybody eat the brains. It was just him. Just
they at least
Ken.
numbed his brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we don't want you to feel it.
For whatever reason, they seemed like very like concerned about Doyle's feelings during this whole thing. They were like, I know because it's a ritual sacrifice, like he should be okay with it. Like he should be understanding that like that's their religion. And like, of course they're going to do this, even though we were surprised you by throwing you in this box and telling you we're going to eat your brains. Like the disconnect there was familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Very familiar.
Omitting quite a bit of information.
Yeah. But also, like, you know, like it was funny as something like that.
Yeah.
These days.
Right. I would have almost enjoyed more of that kind of shit of like them being a dumb sitcom family about the demony shit they're doing.
Yeah, totally.
It'd have been cool to see like maybe other parts of the ritual too. So like he's like, you're gonna eat my brains, and they're like, and then somebody else chimes in, yeah, and then this happens, and then it like keeps getting worse. Like a little setup like that, building blocks. I don't know. I think their family like corny cheesiness was really the highlight of the episode, and it'd have been better.
Yeah.
But then we get like what Angel busting through the doors. This whole shot from the opening, which
I literally got so excited. I was like, "That's from the credits."
Do you think that they had that moment in mind for the credits and built a scene around it, or do you think they just took it from that scene? Because that looks very much like somebody envisioned that for the opening credits.
Right. And it feels like that's a lot of work for just like a throwaway scene in this episode.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think Angel really was just like, I'm a foreground actor now.
Yeah.
Give me a scene.
And the indignation that like the demons are with like, you brought a vampire to my brother's bachelor party. Like I like how they kind of keep the jokiness going for, even though like they get serious and yeah.
But no, yeah, I agree. Like I love that they're like, oh, like that's rude, that's impolite. Like,
can't believe
like Doyle
you
trying to fight from the box.
I actually liked the way that shot.
It's good. It's funny.
Zach, do you think they attached a camera to that stupid little box?
Of course they did. Yeah, it was very still. But he just looked like, a little R2-D2 go boop, boop, boop around the floor, I don't understand how it came unlatched. Did you?
Right.
How did it come unlatched?
It just seems like he bumps it into a table and then it's like bloop and it comes undone.
Okay.
It doesn't really make sense, but yes, that's yeah. And they do this fight the same way they did the demon nest fight, which I like, where it's just like a giant brawl and like you just see it all, like people are coming in and out of the frame. I like that. Doyle finally, I guess we're supposed to, this is like almost like Doyle embracing the demonness, I guess, right? Because he puts on his demon face to fight.
Yeah. I like when Harriet runs in and she's like, or Richard is like, Hun Bun, this is for guys only. Like, I don't know. I know that's what we were just talking about with like the jokiness, like of them curious about human, rituals or human practices that are then kind of being overlapped by the demon rituals and stuff. But just like, again, the indignation that she would show up to save Doyle, to, not respect their culture. I don't know. I felt like they did a really job keeping that going, even though there's this fight scene happening all around them.
Yes. And I like that Cordy's the one that yells, like, you're going to eat my friend's brains. Like, she's like, gonna say the thing.
And then knocks Doyle out because she doesn't know he's a demon.
Yeah.
Which to me, it's like, it seemed like he like reverted back though there. Like that was like bigger, you know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
He was just like, oh no, I still want to hide this.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
after like he changed back, like I was just like, oh, so he's still not fully.
I actually
here.
was like, oh, is this the scene where she finds out he's a demon? And then it was like, nope, she still doesn't find out. But also I was like, look, see, you had Cordelia fight here. Like here she's hitting somebody with a
without hesitation either.
Yeah. But so I do like that scene, and like, then Doyle stands up non-demon and she's like, oh, look what they did to you. And like basically Harry calls off the marriage, right? He's very much like, this is my culture. I have to eat his brain. Jim, give us your hot take.
My hot take is Harry made the right choice, especially because Richard/Ken's family sucks. Not only because they're demons, but because they participate in a patriarchy. And we learn this especially after Harry gives the ring back and walks away. And one of the family members says something like, oh, who wants a wife whose knees only bend one way anyway? And it's like, can we just leave shitty comments like that out of the episode? I know it's the late 90s/early 2000s, but like, come on, y'all. Like, really?
I just think I would hope that my significant other would be willing to eat my ex for my hand in marriage.
Zach's ritual is the new husband has to eat the podcast partner's brain, and Zach will gladly serve my brain.
I mean, it was a weird, right? Because like I think they make the comment that they don't usually marry people who have an ex anyway, and so that's why they're having to do this now. Yeah. I don't know. So it gets weird. Yeah.
Well, and they also pick and choose which rituals they do and don't do, which Harry points out.
Yeah.
He's pointing out the hypocrisy here. So.
I did like that she did that.
Yeah.
Just like, are you kidding me?
Which, like, I mean, that probably was on purpose, right? To be like, this is what people do, like the picking and the choosing.
Yes. Still relevant in 2022.
Are we in 2022 or 1951?
I wasn't sure.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
God.
And Harriet leaves, right? That's the last time she's gone.
Yep,
she's gone from there. Yeah. No exit scene.
I honestly thought we were getting her back though, because of her and like Cordy doing research together.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is gonna be a thing.
Yeah,
I really thought we were gonna see her again.
Right. It's weird that we don't. I wonder if they had kept Doyle around, if she would have been like a character that pops in every once in a while.
Right, like when they really need help with
Yeah.
something, like, you
Like,
know.
a few times a season, not like a main character, but like
that makes total sense, Ian. Maybe her being an ethnodemonologist could have been like a seed that they planted, that because they didn't bring, because of Doyle's unfortunate demise at the end of this season, they just like couldn't really bring her back in a way that's logical.
yeah.
Right.
Was she a demonologist, or did she have a demon fetish? Because it got confusing for me there. I don't know. I think she's after just a demon.
She's a demon.
It could be
chaser.
both.
Yeah, it
Who's
could be
to
both.
say?
Any demon I'll do for her.
So we cut to the end, because she does not. It's very weird that Harriet doesn't get a wrap up scene. It's just her. She goes it up with her husband.
She's like Kyle Richards running out of that Real Housewives scene, and then we just don't get her again.
But also she has to say, Doyle, don't say anything, and then just walks out.
Oh, I do like that.
Or I'll eat your brains.
Yeah. And so we see that Doyle's like mopey, and I do like Cordelia being like, "We need to cheer him up. Someone with a heartbeat."
Oh yeah, that was
All
good.
of
That was
Cordy's
good.
lines in this little end scene like almost make up for the lack of normal plot in this episode, because they're just so good. Like, all of her lines,
Right?
all of her deliveries are good. It's funny, and then we get that like poignant moment, or whatever you want to call it, dramatic moment at the end. I loved this end scene.
Yeah, the end scene was good.
Yeah, I like that they have, at first, she's giving him like canned advice, right? She's like, tomorrow's a new day, blah, 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 blah. And this is what we love about Cordelia, right? She recognizes she's delivering canned advice and it's not working. So she sits down next to him and she gives him real advice. And she's like, nice guys don't always finish last, blah, blah, blah. Like yours will come. And he kind of looks at her, and then she delivers that really iconic Cordelia quote that I feel like people use online a lot, where her saying, "I think it, I say it, that's my way."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, oh, I love you.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a good Cordelia line, and like very her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was so familiar and so her. And her her through line throughout her entire arc over 2 different television shows, like those are her lines, like that's who she is.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we love her. And then we get a very weird thing at the end. Jason, what is it?
The little vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised after the vision he wasn't like, "Oh, was that your old squeeze I just saw?"
Has she like Irish accents?
Does she like? I remember seeing this for the first time. I remember seeing this for the first time, and I was like, "Oh!" And I got so excited because I knew, what was coming. Like, because you see Buffy fighting.
Yeah,
It looks like vampires. Like, so
it's weird, right? It's very weird that like that is a setup, because like I like Pangs. It's problematic, but I do enjoy it. It's like a lighthearted, funny episode, and it feels like. I mean, Angel doesn't do anything, right? Like, he kind of saves, like, Anya and Willow, not Buffy. Like, Buffy's fine.
I think they were trying to force a crossover, maybe. Yeah. And especially, they were like, after this episode, they were like, you know what? We need to add something to the end of the episodes and people are going to come back, because I don't know if people are coming back after that episode.
It's like, it's just weird that they only did, like, crossovers, like, mostly. This, like, Buffy's in 2 episodes this season, and then we never see her again on the show.
Yeah.
And it's just weird that, like, that's what they picked as a crossover. But I think they probably, in their brains, they were in, like, the writer's room. They're like, oh, we'll do a lot of these. So we can do them for, like, less, like, episodes that aren't as big. We can do them, like, a little fun crossover. Because also, every other vision Doyle has is, like, local in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And this one.
Yeah, so, like, why did you,
right?
Like, yeah.
He's like, oh, this one's a few towns over. Which then leads, Angel goes to town for Pangs, blah, blah, blah. Buffy's first and only Thanksgiving episode. That puts us at, I will say, I told everyone at the top of this, I was like, we'll make this a shorter one. And now we have finished even faster than I thought we would.
It is a short episode. It's a nice and sweet episode.
Really
it's not a bad episode. It's fun. It's perfectly fine. And it really just felt like an episode to set up Cordy and Doyle's relationship a little bit more, to kind of, I don't know, give Doyle a little bit more of a backstory, show, don't tell. And then, what's next on Glee, or however you say it.
So, yeah. All right. Favorite scene, Jason?
Oh, I actually really enjoyed the bar fight, honestly.
Okay.
I thought the bar fight, like the because you were talking about the nest earlier, the vampire nest. It was decent, but it still seemed a little slow. But I did really like the bar fight scene. Honestly, I would say
It does feel like it's like a bunch of people piling on top of Angel, and I do like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that kind of style there.
Zach?
Absolutely, the KFC commercial. I thought it was so good. We need more Ken, please. You know, I just love that especially when everything's so serious. I think bringing Ken in, it's just he's just fucking ridiculous, and we all know he's evil, and he even reads evil, but like he's evil in that Mormon pastor kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Zach and I recorded for My Bloody Judy, and we like said well, whatever. It's not a spoiler because this episode's coming out like a month after. That the killer from Black Phone like talked like a youth pastor, and that's I feel like that relates here.
And just they do a really good job bringing in the Ted type of character,
Yeah,
and I always think it works well when they do bring that type of character in.
Yeah, who like can be funny but also like will eat you.
With a smile on his face.
Yeah.
But not with a shrimp fork, though.
Not with the shrimp fork.
No, it's got to
get
be
that goddamn shrimp fork out of here. Kim, what was your favorite scene?
Speaking of shrimp forks, I think my favorite scene was the whole time Doyle's in the box.
Fair.
Yes.
I think like for me, it's like all the bachelor party stuff once Doyle's in the box. Like I like them arguing over the shrimp fork. I like Doyle kind of like trying to help fight while in a box and like maneuvering around the fight. All that is like very much my shit. Favorite outfit? Kim.
Cordy wears this blue dress to the bachelorette party. I like that one.
Yes. Kim, I love that you picked that because that's exactly what I picked too, because that color looks really good on her, right?
Good on her. It's such a good color and it's exceptionally good on her.
Yeah. Zach?
I'm going to go with the same thing. If when in doubt, pick a Cordy fit.
I feel like it's always a Cordy. Like that's what we're always picking, but
usually a Cordy fit, a Cordy hairstyle,
Yeah. Jason?
All right. See, you know what? I was sold on Doyle's fit in the beginning.
Okay.
Because Doyle has just some, and the thing is, Kim sold me even more because that's exactly why. It's this man. Doyle is about to go to a ska show, and this is exactly the fit he would wear. He might be in the band. I don't know.
He's gonna steal the vamp shoes before he gets dusted so that he can wear the pussy mustard plug.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so that because that shirt, I don't know what it is. Like I might have worn that before. I don't know.
You might have. Doyle's going to the ska show, and Jason's going to be like, Ian, you should hook up with that guy at the ska show.
And then I'm going to have a crush on him too.
Yeah. And then maybe we'll both kiss him, Kim. That's not unheard of for us.
It is not.
What grade do we give this episode, Zachary?
I'll just do a solid B. I think that's all right.
That's fair. Jason?
I was gonna give this a C, but I think I'm gonna go B- now because of talking this through. There were good little moments in here that kind of like that KFC scene. That's what we're gonna call it. But the fights were still good. Cordy's lines were good. Some of the deliveries were great. So I'll bring it up to a B-.
It went from 2 minutes to 3.
I know.
Yeah.
Kim?
All right, yeah, I'm with Zach. I give it a solid B.
And same thing. I also give it a B.
We're nice.
Look at that. I thought Zach and Jason were gonna have like D- on their grades.
I was C. I was coming in with a C for sure.
Yeah. I think I had B when I finished the episode. And I think after talking it through, I think I'm good with that.
The reason I like this more than like the others is because I felt like at least the central plot was formed around one of our main characters, and that immediately is more interesting than when the plot. I mean, we still get Harry, who's a character we'll never see again, but like that makes it slightly more interesting for me than it is when it's just like Angel saves, nondescript blonde woman who's going through some problems. That's more boring because it's like the characters are never going to talk about this again. This does not affect any of them. So I think that's why, like, for me, I like this a little bit more.
Well, then I have a question for the room.
Okay.
Do you think Angel not having, sort of a more primary role in this episode hurt it?
No.
No, I feel like this
You don't
is
think he needed any more?
no. This is Doyle's episode.
Yeah.
I think it's all about. I mean, we learn all about him, and he has some character development in it. So I think it's fine that Angel is taking a backseat in this episode for sure.
Okay.
I'd agree with that. Did that bother you, Zach?
I'm thinking on it now, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know yet.
Because like I almost feel like sometimes we concentrate too much on Angel, and I'm like, you know, I'm not like. I feel like this watch I've been more charmed by Doyle than I normally am, and he's at least more fun. He's like, you know, doesn't take himself too seriously, whatever. So like him and Cordelia, like very much in these early episodes needed more screen time because like, you know, there's some episodes where it's like, Cordy, Doyle, go hide out at home. I'm going to find out what's going on. And then it's just like we cut to some scenes of them looking at books. So I was glad that like while Cordelia still got that, Doyle didn't in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, it just there's something missing in it that like makes the episode more exciting, right? Like that exciting factor is kind of missing from it, I guess. Where you know when you get a singular Cordy episode, you know you could have her running around the room screaming at, you know, the walls, and it's just her there, you know, and it's super exciting to watch. But this was just, it was lacking something that would give it that it factor.
Yeah. I mean, I think, honestly, a lot of these early episodes are lacking stuff. It's very weird because they really were finding, you know, I feel like a lot of people will say like, oh, the pilot episode of this show isn't that good. But then you go, like, this takes the whole first season to figure out what the fuck it is.
Oh, it definitely does, yeah.
You know, like, I feel like most of these episodes, the times that they shine most are, like, you know, when Faith's in town, and we're bringing in Buffy character, and, like, Wesley's already there at that point. Like, that's immediately more fun and more interesting. I think the show maybe tried a little too hard to distance itself so much from Buffy that it tried to, like, tell the stories so differently, and it didn't need to, yes, we can have new characters unrelated to Buffy, but we didn't need to, like, tell the story so differently that everything was like a one-off.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they were trying to do here, and then they realized that didn't quite work.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for listening. If you liked Slayerfest 98, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can find us on social media at SlayerFestX98. You can support us on Patreon, where you get access to all our bonus episodes. We've covered all of Firefly over there. We're halfway through Harley Quinn season 2 and halfway through What If season 1. Might be done one of those by the time this episode goes out. And any and all support is much appreciated. If you want to find me on social media, I am at Ian X Carlos. Jason, where can everyone find you?
My name is Jason Sulli, Sulli, and you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. I don't know, wherever.
You know, whatever. Kim, where can everyone find you?
I'm on Twitter at Kim and Joe South.
And Zachary, where can everyone find you?
Well, I have a podcast with this here co-host, Ian Carlos Crawford. We do a horror movie podcast called My Bloody Judy. We're going to be, oh goodness, yeah, your whole episode schedule is throwing me off because you're recording so far in advance now. By the time this airs, we will have already had our Black Phone episode out. And then you can also search me, a podcast I have with my husband called Coffee and Tequila.
Although I will say this episode will air as we're in the middle of our Summer of Sarah Michelle Gellar over at My Bloody Judy.
There you go. Yeah. Which episode do you think will be there? Which episodes will have been done?
Our Grudge episode will be airing in 2 days after this episode airs.
How you get them that schedule like all situated like that? That's amazing. Amazing.
For the disorganized faggot I seem like, I'm like pretty good once it's on a calendar.
I'm pretty impressed with you, honestly.
So yeah, we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye everyone.